Welcome. In front of me is a Xiaomi Redmi 10, and today I will go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this device. So anyway, without further ado, let's just pop it open. We have some seals at the back. There we go. You can pop it open and get straight to the device. Just right over here, and I'm gonna whip it out right from the get-go and power it on just so it gets going. That nice Chinese smell of plastic. Okay, so anyway, in here we get casing for it. So that's always nice. I like that Xiaomi always includes those. Then underneath we have just some paper. We get a charger. Now this charger doesn't look to be anything like special. It is exactly a 22.5 watt charger, which you can see like right here. Obviously the camera can't really pick it up, but it is like the third row from the bottom. So yeah, it's 22.5 watts. Obviously still better than what Samsung and Apple includes, which is literally diddly squat in the box. So props for Xiaomi for including a charger even in some of the budget devices. Now obviously Xiaomi does include way better chargers than this in the box. I did it unboxed today, same day. The 11 or T11 Pro, or 11T Pro, I think it is, with a 120 watt charger. So yeah, that's a amazing charger there, with actually a really good phone as well. Obviously, 3 times as expensive as this device though. Now anyway, I'm gonna quickly go through the setup of this phone. I'm gonna select language. Let's just go through this. So while I'm going through the setup, I'm gonna quickly go over the specs of the screen. So we have a 6.5-inch display. It's a 1080p by 2400 display. It's just an LCD display with apparently a 90 Hz refresh rate, which is actually better than I expected. Additionally, it has an 83.4% screen to body ratio and 405 pixels per inch, making it a fairly dense display. And lastly, the glass right here is a Gorilla Glass 3. So I believe the better one is the Victus, or actually there's a couple I think above this one. So not the best glass right here for protection, but still it's okay. Then if we move to cameras, while this is loading, which are at the back, as you can see we have a quad camera setup, and we have a 50 megapixel wide, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and then 2 sticker cameras that I won't even go into. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what 2 sticker cameras mean, macro and depth, meaning that they're completely and utterly useless garbage, but still they're here. Now obviously I don't like those cameras in any kind of way. Any device or manufacturer that includes the sticker cameras is just a stupid way of, I don't know, thinking that your consumers are absolute morons and won't actually grasp the idea that just because we have cameras, we think that the phone is better. It's not. Those are useless. So yeah, that being said, it does kind of frustrate me, but then obviously the phone is basically like mid-range to almost budget price range of like $100 and I believe $80. Yep, $180. So this is basically like the almost as low price as you can get for a fairly decent device, to be completely fair. But anyway, at the front we have an 8 megapixel wide sensor, and basically with all those cameras in terms of video performance you're getting 1080p 30 frames front and back, it doesn't matter. So not the greatest performance here. And then if you move over to processor and the internal specs of it, we have a Helio G88, and let's see, this device that I have right here has exactly 4 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. So this is almost the lowest one, or it's like a mid-range. The lowest one you can get, which would probably fall under that $180 price range, is the 64 gigabyte storage, which with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now I'm quickly gonna check if there is any kind of expandable storage, and I believe there actually might be. Yep, there's an SD tray right here. So even if you want to go for the lowest price, the 64 and 4 GB RAM, you can expand the storage further with an SD card. Now, to be completely honest, I think I would recommend you to go for the highest spec one, and just because the highest spec one with 128 gigs has also 6 GB of RAM, which will be a little bit of a future proof for the device. It will help it run a little bit better with that extra RAM, considering 4 GB might not be enough, and two of the versions, the 64 and 128, have 4 GB, and there's only one with 128 with 6 GB of RAM. So yeah, I highly recommend you to just fork out a little bit more and get the extra RAM. It's gonna be better for the long run. And in terms of battery, we have a 5000 mAh battery right here, 18 watts fast charging. We have 9 watts reverse charge if you want to use the Type-C port to power something else. And we do have a side-mounted fingerprint sensor right here. And that's about all notable mentions. Actually, there's two additional ones. We have a headphone jack and actually an IR blaster, which you can see right here. So you can use this phone as a remote control for different devices that would have a remote control. And right here, I'm not exactly sure if those are speakers or microphones for loudspeaker. So yeah, I think those might actually be speakers. But anyway, so yeah, to conclude this, for 180 bucks, at least at the lowest price, you're getting a fairly decent device. It's not going to be anything that's going to blow you away. The brightness, as you can see, this is max brightness right now, and it is quite low. So the display doesn't have necessarily the best kind of specs right here. It's just an LCD display with a 90 Hz refresh rate. That 90 Hz is actually quite nice that they included it, but that's basically all the good aspects of it. It's fairly dim and just quite mediocre, I'll just put it this way. And the device basically follows this trend all around. Everything here is just mediocre, but it's still good enough, especially for the price that it comes in, 180 bucks. I do have to be honest, that is a fairly low price for the device that does have some okay specs in here. Decent battery life, decent display refresh rate, headphone jack, Type-C, IR blaster, fingerprint sensor, and so on. So, I would also mention it also comes with a charger included in the price. Might not be the best charger that they can offer, but it's still one that you can use. And yeah, that being said, the device seems to be fairly decently priced for the specs that it comes in. And if you're looking for basically a budget device, this one seems to be okay. Now, when it comes down to budget, I will just clarify this. There are cheaper phones from Xiaomi that they offer for like roughly about $110–$120, but those will be significantly worse than this one. So if you don't mind forking that extra 60 bucks for this one, it's a worth upgrade. The 60 extra bucks for this one, it will get you far further than the actual like the bare minimum devices for like $110. So this is one of those devices where if you're looking for a phone that is really cheap, and you're thinking about getting like the cheapest of the cheap phones, don't. This will be way better for you. The device will be less frustrating to actually use. The cheapest phones are basically just that. They have everything just skimped out as much as they can, making them work but barely without consider. So they will lag, they will just kind of perform really badly in terms of how fast they are and what they offer. This right here, for that extra 60 bucks, you're getting a far better experience than you would get with a $110 device. So yeah, highly recommend this one. Now, anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.